So once you've chosen your pollutant, then we need to actually go and answer all the research guidelines and questions. The first one there, for example, define and identify the biotic and abiotic factors in the ecosystem. So we're going to take that now and break it down, find the meaning of the words define, identify, biotic, abiotic, and even ecosystem if you don't know what that means either. So find the meanings first and then you can answer the questions. So we'll take the meaning of the word biotic. Let's go into Dogpile. Like I said, Dogpile actually does a search of 3 different search engines, Google, Yahoo and Bing. And we're going to use a search on dictionary.com so that we can actually get an idea of a definition from a dictionary. Now I've done a search for dictionary.com and I've come up with lots and lots and lots of different websites that you could use. Generally, when you're choosing a website to get information from, the first one is probably your best match. Most websites will give you some information about what it is. This one here tells you it's look up confusing words in seconds plus word of the day, download now. We're not looking up word of the day, so that's not really going to be relevant to us. Another one looks at translation and definition. Again, we're not translating information, so that is not going to be of use to us. So we'll go back to the first one where we first chose. Okay, so we're in dictionary.com, search dictionary, so we'll type in a word, biotic. Okay, so you need to be able to look past all of this stuff on the website and actually look for the definition. Okay, so biotic, there's how you pronounce it, and down here it tells you it's an adjective, and pertaining to life is its meaning. You also scroll down further, it'll tell you its origin, which we don't need to know. Some more junk basically on it. Here's some sentences. World English Dictionary by Collins gives it as, again, an adjective relating to living organisms. So that's key for us. It's all about living organisms in an ecosystem. So we're just going to copy this onto our Word document, keeping all of the information together. So put it in under research answers, question number 1, and we'll just paste that in there. Okay. The next thing we need to do once we've copied over a chunk of information is actually organize it. So we want to write out the definition for biotic, and that is all living things, or all living organisms if you like. Alright, now next thing we need to do is actually reference where we got this information from so that we can put it into our bibliography. So to reference it basically is to find out who exactly wrote it and when did they write it. So we know that it's actually recent, up-to-date, modern information, and that means that it is actually correct, making it valid. So let's have a look at our website at dictionary.com. Okay, so here is where we got it. World English Dictionary. Here's the URL. We will need that in a moment. But if we have a look at the Collins details, you'll see something down the bottom called Cite This Source. Click into that, and that'll actually provide the citing so that you can actually copy it over onto your Word document and then fix it up for your bibliography. So let's have a copy of this. Again, right click and copy over to your document, right click and paste. So we have to sort it out now according to the Harvard style, as it's Harvard system that we actually use at Aquinas College. So in your diary on page 22 it will show you the order of which this has to appear. So the first thing is the author's name, surname, and then its first name. For a dictionary, we don't have a surname and a first name because it's written by lots of different people. So the next thing we need to find is the name of the entry. The name of the entry is biotic, so we're going to put that in there. After that, we'll put a full stop, and we need the title of the encyclopedia and in brackets online. Now let's go back to our website again. The title of our encyclopedia is here, dictionary.com. Back to our Word document, we need to write that in beside there. Dictionary.com. And beside that is capital O for online. And close your brackets and a full stop. After that, according to your diary, you need the year it was produced in brackets again. We'll write in the year it was produced. Now there's a lot of dates here, 1979, 1986, and here's one, 2009. Always choose the most recent date for any publication. So 2009 is when it was updated. The date accessed is next. So full stop after that. Date access is today's date. So again, we can actually just copy that over from our citation and full stop, comma goes after that. After that, then you need the URL. So all we need to do is copy over the URL. So you can either copy it from the citation or from the information bar on it. And that's it actually referenced. Okay, now get rid of all the other information that you don't need, tidy up your document and start again for the next one. Of course, it's going to be easier the next time around because we already have our referencing system ready to go. Now we'll move on and find the meaning for another word, which is abiotic. So again, back to our website, dictionary.com, and do a search for abiotic. When you do your search for abiotic, again you'll come up with lots of different answers and lots of junk in front of you. If you're not happy with one, like this one here, characterized by the absence of life or living organisms, if that sounds too technical for you, scroll down until you find one that does make sense. Here's the Collins Dictionary again. This one says it's absence of life. Again, might not suit you, you might not be sure what that still means. Without life there for another definition. Keep going, there's actually a science dictionary as well. So, not associated with or derived from living organisms. Abiotic factors in the environment include such items as sunlight, temperature, wind, precipitation. Okay, we could use this one, so let's take that definition. And again, copy it and paste it over into your document. And we're pretty much going to do the same as what we've done before with the biotic part. So again, we need to tidy this up and write the definition in for abiotic. And here we can see it is not associated with not a living thing, basically. Not a living thing. Okay, let's again cite this information. So as you can see from what we've copied over there, that we can actually cite that source. So let's go back and cite the source. Here we go. So you want to just basically copy over as much as you can. Remembering we are on dictionary.com. That is the URL there already, which we've already got here ready to go. So let's copy that over. Citations will form our bibliography at the end. Paste it in here. And here we go. So, back to your diary, page 22. What is the author's name and the author's first name and initials? Don't have an author, don't have first name, so leave it blank. Second thing, name of entry in inverted commas. The name of the entry was abiotic. Close inverted commas, full stops. Title of encyclopedia, same one again, dictionary.com. Again, it's online, capital O for online, and close the brackets, full stop. The year produced. Okay, so let's have a look. We didn't quite copy over that. Oh, yes, we did. Here it is. The year produced was 2002. again, that goes into brackets. The next thing that we need was our data accessed. So our data accessed is today. Copy that over, and that should have a comma after it, and then our URL goes next. HTTP. There we go. Again, tidy up everything else, get rid of all the other stuff that you don't need, and then you will be left with a nice, neat referencing. As soon as you have cited a reference, that is the best time to actually annotate it. Now, to annotate it is to actually comment on its usefulness. And for us, we're looking at the validity, the bias, and the reliability. So let's just write those words down and talk about them. So reliability is actually if all the other dictionaries said that the definition for biotic was all living things, then our definition would be reliable, because it is the same information is repeated in every other definition. So reliable. This resource is reliable as it is the same as every other definition given. Now we also need to comment on validity. Is this a valid resource? Is it written by a known author or a valid author? And the author is Collins English Dictionary, so that is a valid author. Other ways to identify a valid author is if they're a professor, or it's a university, or if it's a government body or agency that's actually put together the website. Generally, if it's written by a kid's website, by a 10-year-old, or if it's written by Wikipedia, it is not valid. You cannot be sure that the information is 100% correct. So you'd have to check other resources and then figure it out if it's reliable or not. So the validity of this website, it is from dictionary.com, it is from Collins English Dictionary, so it is a valid resource. So again, we can write that in here. This is a valid resource as it comes from a known source. Which is the Collins English Dictionary. And finally, we have to comment on bias. Bias is whether or not it is more inclined to talk about one side of the story and not both. Now, we're just looking at a definition here, so we don't really have bias when it comes to definitions. So we could actually mention that here. So it is not biased, as it is simply a definition.